profoundly hearing impaired. I worked at the papers at James Magazine at UVA, and I firmly believe every community needs bridge builders. I grew up as the only deaf student in a public school division in the early 50s and 60s. Long before mainstreaming was introduced to schools in the 1970s. I didn't think I was that different. I was just a kid, eager to learn. I had one extraordinary second grade teacher who believed in me, concerned that a third grade teacher would not invest in my learning. She taught me the third grade curriculum while I was in second grade. One English professor asked me, where did I learn such excellent English, such as using the correct word who instead of the word fact. My parents saw to it that my hearing loss was no excuse not to master English. They treated me no differently from my siblings, knowing that I had to deal with the real world. And I'm very fortunate to have these wonderful bridge builders in my life. I would like to invite President Ryan and others to build bridges by learning two very important concepts. One, a person's disability is part of that person, but does not define that person. And two, just because a person can't do one thing out of 10 does not mean that person cannot do the 11th thing that no one else can do. For example, I can read upside down and backwards. I can also write two words, one right side up to the right, and one upside down to the left at the same time. I happen to be an ambidexter, although that hasn't made me rich. I straddle the fence between the hearing and deaf worlds and understand both. But sitting on that fence has not always been easy. Although I speak English, listen and lip read, someone at UVA's medical community automatically assumed I sign and need a professional interpreter for a doctor's appointment. A friend of mine nearly fell to the floor, laughing in disbelief at such ignorance. Elsewhere, one person once said to me, "Oh, I didn't know you're deaf. You don't look like a deaf person." What does a deaf person look like? About 2 years ago, we employees at UVA watched a video to satisfy a requirement and learned that they had omitted the closed caption option. This issue was quickly resolved. Years ago, at a former job, a man jumped backwards instead of shaking my hand during an introduction. He thought he might catch my hearing impairment. One classmate in the 10th grade let me know I was not welcome on the first day of school by paying her brother a quarter to throw toilet paper all over me. I got cool, but my sister furiously slammed a quarter into his hand and asked him if he was proud of his quarter. My sister, the feisty bitch builder, is a legal aid attorney who currently works to protect the rights of immigrant children and refugees. When I won the top prize at a photography school, my teacher took the trouble to tell me that he had hoped that prize would go to a certain male classmate of mine. After mastering a class or course in sign language for a play and winning the Actress of the Year award, my supervisor at work was angry, while the deaf community gave me a cold shoulder. I betrayed their deaf culture by growing up, speaking, and reading instead of signing. Because of their entrenched beliefs, they could not see that I was able to succeed. Not someone like me, anyway. In contrast, I ran into a wonderful, lovely teacher of the deaf while out at lunch one day. You never attended deaf school, did you? She asked. After looking around to make sure she would not be overheard uttering such heresy, she said, if I had a deaf child, I want my child to grow up the way you did. These negative experiences did not define me. I have been raised by bridge builders, and as you can see, there were wonderful experiences as well. Here at UVA, I invite President Ryan and others to build bridges, eliminate ignorance, fear, assumptions, jealousy, and stereotypes that happen to all of us. Teach acceptance, respect, and tolerance. Be mentally curious and open-minded to all fears. That should be the norm, not the exception. Thank you, President Ryan, from the bottom of my heart, for providing this wonderful opportunity. I am very fortunate to have colleagues like you at UVA who see me as an equal despite my hearing loss. I am truly blessed.